Hey everybody, welcome back to the Old Swedes Farm. It's Rich. Time for garden tour number 6. It's been 2 weeks and things are happening. You're gonna have to excuse the weeds. There's just some areas that I just can't keep up with, so I'm not. I'm gonna go burn them all in the fall or something, but wanted to walk you through the garden. There's a lot going on. We're in wind down mode for a lot of things. Because we've got about a month left before frost typically happens. So there's a lot going on, but then there's stuff that's just getting going. So we're back behind Tomato Alley and all the squash. So I wanted to start here and kind of walk you down and around with all the squash. So let me spin you down here and I'll show you a couple things. Right behind the tomatoes, let me see. All the acorn squash. So got one in there, another one in there. They're all over the place. And there's two areas of acorn squash. Here's another 3 of them or so tucked in there. Just a lot of acorn squash. They've been really prolific. Try to go quick on this part of the tour. Here's what are these? These are cantaloupe, Minnesota midget, I think. So a little smaller variety, right in there, and they're just starting to get going, but they're all over the place. Just little fruits everywhere. In here, here's the Jack B. Little squash that are all in and amongst there. So all the tiny little Jack B. Little pumpkins, crafting people love them. Some of the patty pan squash that are all over. They're very prolific. I've never grown them before and we're finding out just how prolific they are. Some watermelon that are second plantings. So about all we got going, let's see if I can keep my shadow out of the way, are just small ones, but they're going to be kind of the second batch here. A whole bunch of spaghetti squash that are forming in there. Jennifer, if you're watching, from Northern Girl Hobbies, if you're watching, here's the Hopi squash. Now I need to water, it's been a couple days. There's my one squash, and as you can see, cucumber bugs. The cucumber beetles are everywhere. Here's some more watermelon. There's a couple little ones tucked in there. I don't want to spend too much time on this part of it with the squash. Another acorn squash. Here's my method of killing weeds. The tarp method. Let me bring you out back. Some more spaghetti squash coming in here. Here's an interesting one. 2 hills back here, and I never seem to have success out here. Now again, apologize for the weeds. Got some buttercup squash. I've never had good luck with buttercup. So buttercup's in this hill. Over here is Hubbard squash. You can see all the beetles flying. Now out of the same hill. Now I'd plant a packet of seeds. Here's another Hubbard squash tucked in there. But then on the same vine is what looks like a buttercup. So how the heck can you have a Hubbard and a buttercup on the same plant? I'm a little blown away on that. Behind the spaghetti squash is pumpkins, and then I've got some other pumpkins. You can see one of them starting to form. These are going to be the bigger ones. There's another one. That one's about the size of a basketball, maybe a little bigger. Here's some Waltham butternut squash, and you can see them all forming in there. And another hill of butternut squash with quite a few kind of tucked in there. Our summer squash, the yellow, and I'm not picking anything right now. I'm going to come back out and get our CSA together. We did pick a whole bunch of squash last night, but the summer yellow squash is going nuts. Our zucchinis, all sorts of zucchini. So, spin you around here. The squash is doing just fine. Not a problem with the squash. Now the other area, you know what? Let me bring you down here, and we'll shoot from down at this end. I can show you better what's going on here in the main garden. This is where things are really going. Not that the squash isn't. As you walk in, pumpkins. This pumpkin grouping here has just exploded, and let me see if I can, right down in there, some really good sized pumpkins. They're everywhere. Big pumpkins, just all over the place. Over here, let me spin you around. I'm not seeing any new growth on any of the new plants. The broccoli is definitely bolted. Nothing's coming up that doesn't just explode towards the sky. So that's pretty much done. I just need to cut that out and get it to the chickens. Same with the cabbage. And even there's a few heads of purple cabbage that are really looking good. And then there's some where the cabbage butterflies have gotten in there, the caterpillars, and they just rotted out. So that's done. The carrots, really doing good. And then our second planting of radishes, the kohlrabi, and some more carrots. And our weekend project, onions coming up. And then down at that end, there's the two types of potatoes. Both types of potatoes, you can see the foliage has died off. Time to pull the potatoes and see what we've got. So we're excited about that. Get those. Now, the peppers. You've seen the video on the green peppers. The spicy peppers. Let me see if I can point down in here. This whole row right here is habaneros, and they are just thick in there. Well, it's hard to show. Let me show them at the end. The jalapenos right here, you know, when you look at the underside of the jalapenos, hopefully you see that they're just absolutely loaded up. So we've been picking jalapenos and just going to town. Let's see, over here, these are pepperoncinis, and we just gave a whole bunch of pepperoncinis to someone who wants to pickle pepperoncinis, and we're gonna pickle pepperoncinis. There's a bunch of those. Let me show you the habaneros. Hopefully you're seeing that. There's just so many down there in there. They have yet to turn orange, but they're good sized fruit. So we're looking forward to that. When those habaneros get going, it's gonna be lights out. The cukes still are giving us some cucumbers. On the back row there, our peas, and then we've got a month till frost. You can see our beans. Got 30 feet of beans, so quite a bit there. Now, let me take you in here to Tomato Alley, and hold on. Don't mind if I do. The oh, is that sweet? Wow. The cherry tomatoes are out of control. They are, some of them, you know, I've trained them up on top. This is probably, to get to about here is about 8 feet tall, and many of them have reached that. There's some that are, I'm trying to grab them to pull them back in. The production on the cherry tomatoes is outstanding. Holly's been freezing some of the larger tomatoes. We've got, I can never remember, the San Marzano, Jersey Devil. I'll put a list below. There's 4 of the bigger varieties, German Pink and one other, and there's so much on, but it's green, so they're going to explode all at once. One thing I did want to show you again, all the black cherry that is starting to, you know, just the amount of fruit on these black cherries is unbelievable. All the fruit that's going to be there, and then some of it that's now ripe. So don't mind if I do. Oh, that's one of the best tomatoes I've ever had in my life, guys. That variety, that black cherry. Last but not least, on the cherry side, are the big cherry tomatoes. And there's so many of those. And they're so prolific. They're big, not a lot of seeds. And it's just something that, they're huge. We're gonna make some sauce out of those. Those things are, you know, not like the cherries where you can just pop them. The others, pop them in your mouth. Those ones we're gonna pop into a sauce. Now, let me show you. We're on the back side here. I've been burning and doing some of that. 2 big hills of watermelon. Now, our CSA folks don't know it yet, but today, one of them's getting that one, which is probably about 20 some pounds, 25 pounds. And then our big papa there. Now, I don't know if we can shoot it right, but if you can see, I don't have the biggest of hands, but there's my hand. That thing's probably, again, 25 pounds, and we've got a lot of them tucked in there. So they're gonna get that, and then Holly's baby doll. One there, one there, one in there. There's one, there's one. These are really prolific, and we open it up, and it's a bright yellow fruit. I see about 6 or 8 that are, that one's coming due. These over here. We got a lot of watermelon. A lot of watermelon that's coming good here. Last but not least, sorry I keep spinning you around. I'm trying to show the produce and talk a little bit. We've got more spaghetti squash and Waltham squash. There's so many of these hiding in there. Hopefully you can see back in there. There's a green couple laying on top of each other. The 2 hills have grown to get, look at the size of that Waltham. That is probably, I'm hoping you're pointed at it, you can see that. It's probably almost 2 feet long. Here's a butternut and a spaghetti together, laying in there. I don't know how many are in there, but these two hills that have grown together are so full of fruit. It's unreal. And then our volunteer tomato, and back to the pumpkins. It's hard to show since all this stuff is tucked under those leaves, those massive hills of foliage. The next part of the garden here, over the next month and a half, will reveal itself, and I might not even understand what's under the foliage as far as fruit for the pumpkins, the squash, the other vining crops that we've got. We can pick through the watermelon really quick, find which ones are good, and harvest them really quick and get them either to us or to the folks that are CSA or friends, whoever wants watermelon. The pumpkins and squash, how we've always done it is, you know, you invite friends and all that over to help you harvest, but you wait till the first frost. The first frost just knocks all that foliage down, and then the first Saturday after that, then everybody comes over and you harvest. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to kind of the end of the season. You worked all summer, and you want to see the results of all your efforts. You know, the tomatoes we'll have picked by long before that. Some of this other stuff we'll try to cover if we need more growth. You know, we've got that second planting or third planting of radishes and third planting of carrots way in the back. So some of that we might cover. The garden's been very productive this year. And it continues to. I didn't even mention the eggplant. Every week we've been pulling, you know, we've got so much eggplant every week, and it just continues to keep throwing out even more fruit. It's unreal. So eggplant, peppers, as you saw, we just put 16 pounds of sliced or cubed peppers, 16 pounds in the freezer. So we've got peppers for a year. Now we need to get rid of the other ones or use them. We're stuffing peppers now and putting them in the freezer, doing some other creative ways to do it. It's fun. This is what you garden for, you know, so you can walk through and eat all the tomatoes and look forward to the watermelon, that kind of thing. And we love it, just sharing it with our CSA families and all that. So anyways, garden, a long-winded garden tour number 6. And if you can see way back there, this is great, where you've got the big pumpkin patch and all that. I'm just, sorry, I'm doing Minnesotan here and I can't say goodbye. So anyways, thanks for watching along. It's so much fun. Another 2 weeks, we'll throw another garden tour at you. Just having a ball. Trying to forget that there's weeds in here and just having a ball gardening. So hope you guys are too. It's just so much fun. Everybody, thanks for watching. Take care.